what's up? How y'all doing? And welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing something special. I decided for the holiday season, even though Christmas was yesterday, that's okay. It takes me a little bit of time to get this stuff up together, so you know what I'm saying? I had this idea to look at like some Black Christmas movies and then kind of compare them together. So that's why I got the idea to do. Now it's flipped on the camera, so I don't know. Yeah, I could flip it around and edit it. Basically, in today's video, we're going to be looking at This Christmas and Almost Christmas, two highly regarded Black Christmas movies, and we're just going to be comparing them, kind of the plot, the characters, the cast, what they have to offer, and we're just going to see which one is better, you know, because I've seen online people talking about, oh, they like This Christmas better, or they like Almost Christmas. So we're going to go through like the plot, the characters, different things in each movie, and then I'm going to give my final opinion on what I think, which one is better. This is something new I'm trying out. I got a little presentation here, learning curve for me, learning curve for you, and whether you want to look at this or not, but we'll see how it goes. I also got a tally board, so we're going to keep track of their score to see who got the most points at the end of the day. Alright, This Christmas or Almost Christmas? Which one are you going to choose, huh? Who's your fighter? Pick your fighter. No, I'm just kidding. Oh. How I do that? Oh. So do I gotta... Oh, wait, go back. How did I do that? I don't know how I just did that. We'll figure it out later. To get started, we're just going to talk about the creative team in each movie, right? This Christmas is directed by Preston A. Whitmore II, okay? He wrote and directed the film, so that's 2 for him, you know what I'm saying? He's directed movies like Doing Hard Time, Crossover, and The Fight Never Ends. We have the same birthday. What? We have the same birthday. Just because we got the same birthday, I'm just... you know what I'm saying? I'm going to just have to give him 1 point just for that. I don't make the rules. The rules make me. No, I'm just kidding. And some of the notable cast members in This Christmas would be Idris Elba. We got Regina King, Loretta Devine, Delroy Lindo, Laz Alonso, Mekhi Phifer, Columbus Short, Lauren London, Sharon Leal, Ricky Harris, Keith Robinson. Who else? Oh, Chris Brown. Yeah, those are like the main cast, like the notable cast that's in there. And then let's talk about Almost Christmas. Right there. Now, Almost Christmas was directed by David E. Talbert. His filmography, you might know a little bit more of if you've seen Baggage Claim, Jingle Jangle, or First Sunday. He's also had a lot of other movies that he's directed as well. He also wrote and directed this movie too. So, you know, let's just give him 2 points just for that. Just because they both writing and directing stuff. Well, I meant like 1 point each, not 2. They both. That's what I was trying to say. I also believe that David E. Talbert is from the DMV. Maybe we'll just give him another point for that. Because I remember my mom saying something about it. I tried to confirm it online, but I couldn't find anything on it. But I'm pretty sure he is. So just give him another point just for DMV. All right, they evened up. Anyway, let's get into the plot of This Christmas, okay? Let's see. Maybe I gotta zoom in. It's a little glare though. All right, that's not too close, right? We good. We family. It's okay. So the movie starts off with a bar fight with Idris Elba's character. He gets in a fight with these 2 guys. We see he's not doing good in life. We see, you know, he trying to get himself together. He's a bit of a loner, you know what I'm saying? This Christmas season ain't going good for him. Cut to the family arriving. We got Kelly. Kelly's introduced, one of the daughters in the movie. She's like bougie aunt, you know what I'm saying? The rich auntie, the one who got money. Independent, she don't need no man, you know, she got herself together, she living in New York. Only problem is Ms. Mom can't cook. Then we got Claude. Just take a moment. Thank you for your service. Where Claude at? That's Claude right there. Bougie auntie Claude. Okay. Next we see Kelly and Lisa. It's tension between these 2, right? They got a little tension, you know. It's a bit of a rivalry, you know, like an older sister, young sister type of thing. We see that also in Almost Christmas, too. It's like a running theme, like 2 sisters beefing a little bit. We're going to see a lot of similarities between these 2 movies, just so y'all know. Then we have Melanie, which is played by Lauren London. She arrives... Oh, wait, hold on. She ain't coming by herself. Okay. You know, obviously her brother's got to size him up, see who she's bringing home, and if this brother is worthy of their little sister, you know. Then we got family dinner time. Then we get these two dynamic, Malcolm and Lisa. Clearly, they don't have a happy home. All right, this man thinks she's his mom, and she going along with it and acting like he's her son. Okay, so we got a mommy and son relationship, not husband and wife type thing going on. Then we got a little conversation with the guys and Devin here, and they asking him, you know, where he went to school, where he studies, and he's a proud Morehouse man. HBCU, stand up. HU. Somebody knows. Okay, just for that. Just they get a point just for that. Back to the plot. Then, you know, there's this little thing where they're saying, like, Lisa only is always majoring in something that's similar to who she's dating at the time. He's majoring in pre-law. She's majoring in pre-law, you know. But her majoring in pre-law, honestly, might come handy when these two get a divorce. They might need a lawyer. Okay, he not getting nothing. Back to Quentin, which is Idris Elba, if you didn't know. We see it's two goons coming after him, okay? Now, when I was watching the movie, I was trying to figure out their names, and I looked it up. IMDb talking about some Mo and Dude. Now, I thought that they just didn't care enough to give them real names. But then as I kept watching, I learned that's their actual names, Mo and Dude. So, yeah, we see Mo and Dude, and they let us know that Mr. Quentin, right here, he owed the boss man some money. And he ain't give him none. That's why he on the run. That's why he at bars drinking and then trying to catch him. And apparently he owned like 25 grand, which in 2025, that's $1 billion. So he $1 billion in debt right now. Boom, back to the family as they're, you know, wrapping up from family dinner. Lisa drops the conflict here that her and her husband are getting a divorce. No, I'm just kidding. She actually drops the real conflict, which is that their mom, Medea, owns a laundry cleaning business and it's not doing so well. They each actually have a share of the business, but because it's not doing so well, her husband, Malcolm, is suggesting that their family sell all of their shares and basically sell the business because it's not making any money and they would make more money selling it. And he wants them to sell the home basically so he can get the money, but we're going to get to that later. Then we get our first family fight. Fight number 1. She don't believe in that idea. They arguing, talking about, you the sellout. You just want mama's money. You just want to see mama fail and to lose the house. And you always arguing with me. And then he jumped in on the fight, trying to back up his wife. The one time he backs her up, ganging up on her. And then that goes for about a minute or so. But don't even worry, because right after the fight, we get our first Soul Train line dance. What? Because nothing stops the fight like dancing. Okay, then after the dance, we get another surprise. The money launderer, the embezzler, shows up after 3 years of not being there. Decides, you know what? It's almost Christmas time. I'm in debt. It's 2 people after me. I could be killed. Why don't I go check on my mom and the family and see how they doing? So he pops up at the house. And, you know, everything was going good. You know, we had a little fight, but the dance party brought us back. And then he was talking to Joe, right? That's his name, Joe. Delroy. What's your character's name? Joseph, Joe. He was talking to Joe, and Quentin might have let it slip out. He don't believe in God. Argument number 2. Now, this is where the audience finds out, if you ain't already seen the movie, Joe... Well, he ain't on here. Joe is actually the stepfather. He's not the dad. And that's why they got some tension between Joe and Quentin, because Quentin feels like Joe's trying to step in and take over the role of his father, even though his father left the family. You know. But anyway, Joe, he's trying to say he's not the stepfather, okay? He's the father that stepped up. Melanie is talking to her boyfriend, and she basically like giving him the spiel on the family dynamics and that their dad was a jazz musician and he decided to leave to go to Europe to basically make it professionally in that career, but by doing that he left the family and never came back. I don't even think they offered like, hey, why don't y'all come with me? It was just, I'm out. So he's a deadbeat. And it actually didn't even happen like he left right when Junior, or what's his name, Baby left. Was born. So all of these kids was already born. And then right when the last kid, he said, you know what, I don't care about this family no more. I'm gonna play music. And that's what he did. And that's the reason why Medea's traumatized by men leaving her and music. So he not allowed to sing, and he not allowed to play on the piano because he played on the piano and he left her too. So now all the men leaving except for him because she thinking he not supposed to be singing. So clearly he got a mic in his hand and it's Chris Brown playing him. So I think he's singing Mama. The family is sitting down talking, and Claude is going to a club. The other siblings want to go, so they decide, you know what, let's tag along, let's go to the club. But yeah, they're at the club. Claude's kind of acting weird because he really didn't want them to go with him anyways, but I guess he had no choice because they was going to tag along. And we see him sneak off to the side, and we see this fair-skinned lady at the bar. And he goes up to this fair-skinned lady, and apparently he knows this fair-skinned lady. No. Apparently, they in a relationship. We find out it's way more than that. But we're going to get to that later. For right now, he's in a relationship with this white girl, and he don't want to bring her around the family because he's ashamed of being in love with a white woman.
If it ain't nappy, I ain't happy.
Back at the hotel. And then we cut back to the rest of the siblings sitting at the dinner table. She meets this man who she feel like is eyeing her, and she eyeing him, and they, who they feeling like. That's what they're trying to see. Gerald. His name is Gerald. But yeah, they're sitting down talking, enjoying the music, being at the club, getting out, being turned, And then suddenly, somebody comes on the mic and says that Michael Whitfield is going to sing a song on stage. Who is Michael? Baby's Michael. Who's Baby? Chris Brown. So basically this club let this underage little boy sing on stage in front of a bunch of grown people who drinking alcohol, doing who knows. But hey, they giving him his spotlight. So they all find out he can sing, and he is singing according to his mama, singing on stage. And apparently he got a nice voice. But yeah, that's obviously the moment where Chris Brown has fulfilled his contractual obligation in being in the movie by singing, because ain't no way they was going to have him and him not hum a little tune, sing a little run, a little riff. And he sings Tenderness. Cut to out of nowhere, Claude, military man, gets in a fight with somebody at the club and pulls out a gun on one of the guys trying to be a gangster like his brother. And then they got to break the fight up, and then they got to leave early. So everybody, shout out to Claude for ruining a good night. Until the next day, the family is taking a little family photo picture. And then cut to Kelly, the guy who she met at the club, shows up at the house dressed up as Santa. As Santa, because he really liked her and wanted to see her again. Either that or he was trying to rob them. Who knows? But apparently he has a side job where he dresses up as Santa. I think at the mall? Some store, somewhere. Then cut to Malcolm and Lisa. Cut to Malcolm being a loser again. They're at the airport because Malcolm has this business deal that he's mentioning some bill collector, and he has to do all these things so they don't take all the nice things that they have. Like the little Escalade SUV truck that they got. And he has to leave her on Christmas Eve to go to New York because of his bill collector. Bill collector. Everyone say it with me. Bill collector. And he leaves and he don't even say love you back. Then they putting up the Christmas tree. Now, does anybody do real Christmas trees anymore? Or is that like we all electric? We all plastic here, and then it's like once Christmas is over, you gotta throw it away. You can't even reuse it. Then we got Claude, he still ain't over it because he's still, up in a tizzy because he with a white woman and he don't want to come out to his family that he's with a white woman. So, there's that. But then, boom, we got the henchmen, the goons, Q and Mo.
Who?
Oh, no. Why I say Q and Mo? Dude and Mo who meet up with Quentin because they found out where he lives, all thanks to Lisa. I know she didn't know, but you just sold your brother out for no money, for free. But then we get fight number 2. Now this is the most quietest punches I've ever seen in a movie in my life. Shout out to them for being stealth and not making no noise, but it was so quiet. But that's okay though, because my man Quentin handled it. He put a down payment down of $40. So that's $24,000. I'm not doing that math, but somebody can do it. But yeah, he's down $40. He's $40 ahead of where he was from the $25K that he got to pay back. So a businessman, if you ask me. But they go from that to them Claude getting arrested because the night that he pulled the gun out, it's not over. Because now the cops getting called on him. And now he got to get taken into jail. And then the family got to try and bail him out. And Claude is talking with Quentin. And that's when he lets him know, hey, I know y'all was expecting the Nubian queen, but I got a France Paris European goddess on my right shoulder. I'm so sorry. And we learn her name is Melody. Fair Melody, Fair Maladen Melody. Yeah. And then we see Malcolm, who left on Christmas Eve, left his wife to go handle something with the bill collector. But the bill collector is sitting on his lap in a robe in a hotel room. Cut to another bomb. See, this is like the climax of the movie where everything is just kind of going down. Because now we find out that Melody is not the side chick or his girlfriend or somebody who he's just talking to. That's his wife. Yeah, they married. He married her like 2 weeks ago. Oh, so I'm definitely using this mic and I don't think it's working. This is why I don't use mics. But yeah, he was treating his wife like a side chick, telling her go to the hotel, not letting her come to the house or see the family, pretending like he don't know who she is. And that was someone who he just married 2 weeks ago. Nobody went to the wedding. Nobody knew they was married. But not just his wife, his pregnant wife. Yeah. But also Claude is like AWOL from the military. I don't know what's going on with this man, but he's going through it. Something's happening. But yeah, we also kind of find out why he doesn't really want to bring her around the family, because it's not like, oh, I'm dating a white woman, this is weird, but it's also like, oh, I'm dating a white woman and her parents are racist and they don't like me because I'm black.
But I have a confession to make. I'm black.
You're what?
So he has reason to, he has reason to not want to bring her around. I can see how that was weird. I don't know how you settled down for her. I'm pretty sure there were other women you could have, you know what I'm saying, one that doesn't have a racist family, but love is love, right?
I'm not laughing.
Lisa and Kelly are having a little chit chat outside, and they kind of like be real with each other on how they feel about each other's situations in their life and kind of why they've been butting heads a little bit. And Lisa lets Kelly know that, hey, I know my man's cheating, but I don't want to be lonely, so I'm going to stick right beside him. And Kelly's like, you stupid. And Lisa's like, I don't have no job. He got the money. So she don't really care that he's terrible. But she just gonna, keep up with the emotions and just keep going, because she's stay-at-home mom, raising her kids, married, and don't really have any other skills. So basically she feel like she's stuck. And the argument kind of escalates, and then we get third fight, and they fighting in the rain. An iconic fight, if you ask me. And then Melody comes and stops them, because y'all had your hair done, and now the rain done ruined it. So she's like, what y'all doing? Y'all don't get back inside. Also, I feel like this is one of the few times where we see like black women have their hair wet in a movie. Like, I feel like for some reason they just want to have you in one style and it just got to be dry all the time. It's like you don't never wash your hair, you don't never get in the shower and get it wet or nothing. You just got to stay the same thing like that. So I like how it's a little bit more realistic. I don't know, I just wanted to point that out. Should I give him a point for that? I gave a point out in a minute. Why don't we just, Almost Christmas gonna have its time. They gonna get a point, let's just, I don't know how they got 4 points, to be honest with you. I don't remember putting the third one up there. Then we have Loretta Devine, Madeir, who utters the most famous line that a black mother could ever say, and that's, I brought you into this world. Depending on my audience, y'all might know it. I don't know, the demographic for who's watching yet. So I brought you into this world. I'm take you. I can take. What is it? I brought you into this world and I can take you out. Boom. Now my mom don't ever say that, but some moms do. Some black moms do. But we have the second most iconic scene in the movie, and that's R.I.P. to the Escalade. That truck, to me, reminds me of the 2000s. Like, when I think of the 2000s, I think of that truck. And she just destroyed it. But yeah, Virginia had to show y'all. That's why I have an Oscar right now. Okay? That's why my last name is King. But Michael is talking to his mom, and he finally tells his mama that I want to sing.
Sing?
And she's like, no. And he's like, yeah. And he rips her to shreds. He stands up to his mama, and he gave her a whole therapy lesson on what's wrong with her and why she need to get her life together. Then we see Quentin getting beat up in the bathroom, and I'm like, you on... If we ever fight back, you gonna be scared, man. You gotta be able to hit it. You know what I'm saying? Then, Quentin's guardian angel, Mr. Joseph, father who stepped up, comes in and saves the day and pays off a little bit of his $25,000 debt. So he puts like $10,000 on it. So now he got $40, $10,000. So that's $10,000 and $40. Do the math on how much he got left. Now, I didn't even know Joe knew that he was in this situation or what. How did he even find him? I don't know. Then Michael finally comes back home after meeting with his bill collector in the bed in the hotel room, under the covers, under the sheets. And then we see Gerald and Lisa, you know, and she's like, hey, I'm going back to New York. And he's like, can I come too? And she's like, okay. And now Santa is going to New York. Then we have one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. Like, it needs to be studied in schools. It honestly should have gotten attention from the Oscars, the award circuit, but it involves Lisa, some baby oil, and a belt. And greatness ensues. A woman takes her power back, okay? She takes her strength back. Women in STEM, okay? She doesn't have a science experiment going on. But yeah, she learns her worth, and she starts mollywopping him because she found out that he was cheating up in New York, and she was like, you know what, I had enough of it. And then after that, she's done, and she scrams, gets out of there, because she's smart, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he'd been in the gym a little bit. She don't want to stay too long, then he uppercut her or something. But yeah, Lisa and Kelly finally make up, and she lets him know that she's getting a divorce, and she's leaving him, and she's realizing her worth. And they have like a little good moment of sisters bonding, you know, being together, all that good stuff. Then Claude comes back home. While they at church, they done freed my boy Claude from slavery, and he's back. And he's with his family, his wife, and his soon-to-be born, well, not soon-to-be, but his kid that's on the way. And then we have Chris Brown singing This Christmas, and honestly, I know everybody's talking about Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. It's a great song. I love the song. I love how she sings it. But this Christmas, this rendition of it is giving it a run for its money, honestly. Honestly, even the Donny Hathaway is giving it a run for that money, too. But, I don't know, something about the runs, the choices. I just love this song. And then, you know, everyone's happy. Actually, I think the goons, like the mama, or somebody did something and was going to call the cops on them. And they was like, oh, okay. So I guess, you know, his debt's paid. Whatever. They doing the Soul Train dance line, and everybody happy, and everybody dancing, and hey, I even got the same outfit on as in low key. My 2000. I didn't even realize that. Hold on, wait. Hey, I belong in a movie. Hey, honestly, it's my dream to be in a Christmas movie like this, like a Black holiday Christmas movie, and at the end of the movie have a Soul Train line where I just kind of go and dance, kind of like a blooper reel, but we dancing. That's like one of my dream roles, just to do that. Like, I have like some other stuff, but that's up there too. Alright, that's the whole plot of This Christmas. Almost Christmas. Let's go. Boom! So, if you can't tell, these are pictures from Almost Christmas. I don't know if I explained that last time with This Christmas. Yeah, so I'm basing it off of this. Back up. Hey, what's up? This almost Christmas starts off with Ancestry.com, 23andMe, that black guy who interviews celebrities and looks at their family history. And it's like the Tamara Mori, y'all know that meme. Oh, you know what? I don't even think I ran down to the cast for Almost Christmas. Let me stop disrespecting Almost Christmas like this. We're starting off wrong already. So, Almost Christmas, we got Danny Glover, Monique, Gabrielle Union, Kimberly Elise, Omar Epps, Jesse T. Usher, Nicole Ari Parker, J.B. Smoove, Carrie Hilson, Romani Malco, John Michael Higgins, and D.C. Young Fly. Also, Monica, randomly. Monica is in this movie too. Anyways, wife passes away. A year later, Walter is trying to get his family back together. It's Christmas time, so he calls them all to come over. And we see Cheryl, a dentist working on her patient. Then we get the politician, Barack Obama in training.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Christian. Then we got student loans. Rachel, played by Gabrielle Union. You know, she's having some car troubles and got to deal with that, along with her student loans because she's in college trying to get her master's degree to be a lawyer. Then we got young football star. Oh, Lord. I don't know what I wrote. What's his name? Oh, Lord. I'm professional. Evan. What did I say? I wrote down. We got Evan, and we got
Lonnie Chattel.
Cheryl's husband, and we see Walter trying to make his wife's famous sweet potato pie. And because she passed away, that was kind of her recipe that she would make for the family. But, you know, since she passed away, that recipe kind of died with her. Or so we think for right now, that the recipe is gone with her. And Walter was trying to recreate that for the holidays, but something ain't right. It's a little off, you know. So he's like cooking it, throwing it away because it's not good. Arrive, probably the most famous, iconic character in this movie, Monique, the rich auntie, who is a famous singer traveling the world. She's a celebrity in her own right, traveling with a bunch of famous people. And then we see the diversity hire show up. No, I'm just kidding. Christian's campaign manager shows up, and then we get Rachel, Gabrielle Union's high school sweetheart, who still lives in her neighborhood, and, you know, he's trying to talk to her. He sees she's in town, and he's like, hey, what's up? Remember we was together in high school? And she's like, yeah, get away from me. You know, she's independent. She's a single mom, doing her thing while in school. So a man coming in her life is like, you gotta come correct. She keeps her guard up. But we found out that she's divorced. And that's probably also another reason why she don't want to get into another relationship right now. But anyways, we got another two sisters beefing. Rachel and Cheryl, they got beef. You know, it's always one college educated, one not, you know, working a job, even though in this case they, you know, technically they both college educated, but, you know, like someone who's more career focused, another one who's not so much. You know, we got another movie with two sisters beefing. Even like the other movie with like JT Usher's character. Why I say JT? JT coming. Evan, he's like the young football star, and then Chris Brown, he's like the young R&B artist. You know, the person who's gonna make it out in the family and do big things, and they both the youngest. So, yeah, and then we're gonna get into the cheat later. Again, we see Walter stopping by the shelter to basically give his time and do volunteer work because that's where Grace did a lot of her time and did a lot of her work, and it's just something to remember her by, carry her legacy now that she's passed. And Aunt May decided that she was going to cook the whole family dinner, nobody else, and she was going to cook it. Don't know if she ever cooked in her life. Don't know if she ever tasted her food, but she's making mung bean winter. Mung bean something. She just kept saying mung bean. That's all I remember from what she was cooking. I like how it rolls off the tongue, but it don't sound like something I want to eat. And none of the other people in her family wanted to eat it either. They actually made that poor little boy eat it, and he didn't want to die. He honestly might have. Yeah, we get fight number one with basically all the siblings. It ain't even just the two sisters, it's all the siblings. It's tension in the house. Don't nobody want to stay there. Everybody want to go and get a hotel, have their own space. Aunt May shuts it all down. There's somebody to step up to her, because she gon', you know what I'm saying? But Rachel gets in a little fight with her brother. He's like, okay, I'll show you. I'm gonna lock you out the house while you trying to get the mail with just a robe on. Rachel's like, hey, open the door. He's like, no. She's like, please. And so she decides, you know what? Let me go through a window. Tries to go through a window. It's not working. She gets stuck. And her high school sweetheart sees her. Embarrassing, right? Perfect timing. He trying to help her. She trying to tell him stop. They look like they doing something. You know, it's looking real bad for her. It's looking real bad. She finally gets in the house. Thank God, right? Embarrassing. Anyways, back at the house, the family gathers together in the kitchen. And basically, this is like one of the few times where we see them actually happy. Now, they don't do a Soul Train line, but they kind of do a run through through the decades of like music and dances from each generation. So, you know, it ain't no Soul Train, but it's something. Yeah, we finally got some joy, and then all of a sudden grief just sneaks up on the family. Because there's no timeline for when grief comes, okay? It just comes. Amen. Monica showing up at the restaurant, red hair in her loud, you know, Rihanna era. Then she goes and leaves. I don't know how she got that part, but, you know, she was like, let me act. Let me show you I ain't just a singer. Yeah, we see Donnie at the... Is it Donnie or Lonnie? Why did I say Lonnie? What did I say? It's a learning experience, alright? Lonnie. He at the grocery store, and he meets this pretty girl played by a pretty girl. I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, he sees one of the cashiers played by Carrie Hilson, and they start chatting it up. I'm just, you know, let me make sure I get her name right, or else I'm about to just call her cashier lady. Jasmine. They start chatting it up. You know, he takes a picture with her. He exchanges his phone with her. They locked in. The snake has entered the chat. He done bit the apple. My brother is gone. Okay, he's been tempted and took the bait. But yeah, we see them playing football. Okay, they, you know, got a game of family football. They look like they having fun. Everything is going cool. Obviously, with this family, it don't last long. It don't last long in this Christmas either. Some conflict gotta happen. And Lonnie, like, does this weird move or whatever, and he tries to end Evan's career. They get mad at him. They fighting now. Cheryl and Rachel fighting, and they arguing with each other, and they doing low blows, and everybody's like, I'm done. Game's over. I'm out. So they leave. Give me a little water break. Lonnie, you know, just once again, proving why he's a loser. It's a few losers in these movies. It's a few losers, and they tend to be cheating husbands. They tend to be. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, Jasmine, she ends up going to the store, you know, to get some groceries or whatever. And who does she run into? Jasmine. Okay, a whole new world, Jasmine. And basically, they kind of know each other because Rachel grew up with Jasmine's older sister. And they start talking. And, you know, Jasmine's phone's ringing. And Rachel's like, oh, somebody texting you, blowing you up. Who is that? And Jasmine's like, oh, you're just this guy who I met. You know, he's going to take me out to Chicago. And, you know, his grandmother is sick or something like that. So she shows him a photo of this guy who she's been talking to. It's JB Smooth. No, it's Lonnie. And she's like, and that's because Delaney, I know, supposed to be married, all right? And his grandmother not named Cheryl. No, that's his wife. And they're already beefing. She already don't like Cheryl. So she's like, you know what? Let me get her back. Because she thinks she better than me. Let me show her husband cheat on her. So she invites Jasmine to come to their Christmas dinner in spite. Just to expose their marriage in front of the whole family and embarrass her sister. And Jasmine's like, oh, thank you. You being so nice. I appreciate that. Anyway, Rachel, you know, and Malachi, they talking, and then they finally stop ignoring temptation and they feeling, and they kiss each other. Thank God. Thank God, Rachel and Malachi, finally, all right. Then we got Walter, who finds out Christian, the politician, future Barack Obama in training, president 26, okay, it was made in 2017. Anyway, I don't know. Future politician, or actually politician Christian, is gentrifying his family's neighborhood. Now he's involved in a like rezoning in the neighborhoods, and it's gonna like badly affect a lot of places. That being the shelter that his mom worked at a lot, and that his dad currently works at and gives his time. And if they rezone, that's, you know, basically going to mess up the shelter and kind of end the funding for it. And his father don't like that. And his father thinks his son's a sellout. And his son is like, I'm doing you a favor. All thanks to that white man. That is feeding lies into his head, trying to gentrify his own community. Not his own, but his, you know, Christian's own community. Yeah, I feel like I need to reset that. Cheryl is making a dish. And so is Rachel. But somehow both their dishes burnt. And they get in an argument trying to redo their dishes, but they both using the same ingredients, even though it's two different dishes. And all that fighting finally did some good, and they found their mom's recipes in the cabinet. Now, the whole family was like, my recipes, I can't figure out how to cook. Did nobody check the cabinet? Nobody thought, maybe let me just look up in here and see if it's where it's supposed to be. But anyways, they find her recipes in the cabinet, not even really tucked away for real. It was like right there, just behind a few things. You know what? Grief gets you. Grief makes you lazy. I understand they didn't really have the energy to really look for them. So they find her recipes and all her recipes, and it gets them sentimental. And Rachel's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't need to destroy your family. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I acted too quickly. Let me call this girl Jasmine and tell her, hey, I know I just invited you to the Christmas party and you don't have anywhere to go, but guess what? You're uninvited. Thank you. But she don't hang up. She don't answer the phone. She just leaves a voicemail. That's gonna come to bite her later. But yeah, now they got the recipes, so you know Walter's in the kitchen whipping it up, okay, making that sweet potato pie because he feels like he got it down pat with this one. This one is gonna be the one for sure. Then Evan is trying to confront they're all at the dinner table, and Evan finds out about the rezoning plan that Christian is doing, and that his dad is thinking, you know, maybe he should sell the house because, you know, his wife passed away. It's just him. None of the family really comes over anymore. So he's planning to sell the house. And Evan's like, that's my house. You trying to sell my house. And he's like confronting him at the dinner table about it. He's mad, storms off. Crazy, right? So he leaves the house, goes for a drive, clear his head. Now remember, he's on drugs. No, I'm just kidding. He's taking some drugs. I don't know what it is. He's an athlete, okay? They do it sometimes. But while he's gone, luckily, that seat doesn't stay empty for long because guess who's here? Jasmine with paprika. With paprika on potato salad. And she's like, hey. And they're like, who are you? And Rachel's like, oops. And Jasmine's like, was I supposed to come or what? Yeah, and Lonnie's like, you know, that really got him messed up. Because he's trying to figure out, how did she find out where I live and who my family is? And he's trying to make up some excuse that he's mad that she put paprika on her potato salad. I don't eat potato salad, but apparently that's a normal thing to do. But they both go back to the dinner table, and he's sitting one person away from her with his grandma, Aunt Cheryl, his grandma wife, Aunt Cheryl. Why I keep saying Aunt Cheryl? His grandma wife, Cheryl, sitting right next to him, and he's trying to, when she leaned back, he leaning back. When she leaned forward, he leaning forward, trying to hide in between Cheryl. Anyway, that obviously didn't work because Jasmine spots his big head, his big bald head, and it's like, Lonnie, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be in, or I don't know where you're supposed to be, but she's like, I didn't know you, Rachel, you guys knew each other. Like, what a coincidence. And it's like, oh, it's so sweet that you would take me to Chicago, guys. Like, Lonnie, this guy, he's amazing. You know, and that you're taking care of your grandma, Cheryl. Grandma Cheryl? Cheryl's like, let me learn more about this Grandma Cheryl. And Jasmine is like, oh yeah, you know, she's sick. He's taking care of her. The whole family like, yikes. This is your last day being a part of this family. How awkward for you. But yeah, Grandma Cheryl decides she's gonna go get Grandma Cheryl in the back, because that's where she's chilling. And she's going to bring her to Jasmine so that she can see. And apparently, Grandma Cheryl is AK-47 or shotgun, whatever gun that is, and it's locked and loaded, right? I would die if I was Lonnie. I would die. I would never sat there that long. I would have been gone. But yeah, she chasing Lonnie with the gun. And I gotta say, at least she went after Lonnie and she didn't go after Jasmine. Jasmine, sweet girl, she didn't know he was married. She didn't know. With kids. 2 kids. Anyway, so we get the iconic scene of her fucking loaded. He's like, you're not gonna shoot me. And she blasts a hole in front of the sign. I think the house, I don't know what that sign was, but she blasts a hole in front of it. And it's like, I will shoot you. I'm not afraid. She the best shot in the family, according from my man. But yeah, Rachel and Cheryl have a little heart-to-heart, just like the last movie, and Cheryl learns her worth and decides, I'm gonna leave my cheating husband. So, good on her. Good on for both of those women deciding, maybe I should leave my cheating husband. Give it on God. Let's do more of that, okay? Also, we got Evan, who's in the hospital because he was drug and driving, and he, got in a little accident, and his life, he got a little football injury, and he's trying to do the drugs to take care of that, and also make it pro, and he also misses mom and all that stuff. It's a lot going on. But him and his dad, they have a little heart-to-heart, and they get that together. But Christian finally sees the error of his ways, and that these white people are trying to ruin his community. And he decides, I'm not going to do the rezoning program. I'm going to help the shelter. And I'm done with this. See y'all later. Then Malachi, he's trying to do a little special gesture for Rachel, bringing it back to the old days. Because there was a little misunderstanding during prom night with them two. And basically they went like 40 years being mad. Nah, let me not make them old like that. They went like a long time being mad at each other for basically no reason. So he decides to redo prom night. And he got the boombox and the limo. And he got his suit on. And Rachel runs inside. He's like, oh, she done left me? Nope, it's to get her a dress. I don't know how she got her hair done and put that dress on that quick. Movie magic, everybody. Movie magic. And they have a nice night. But we see Aunt May and Walter sitting down at the dinner table, chit-chatting, talking about grief, talking about Grace, Walter's wife, and just life. For real, for real. And Aunt May is talking about how she traveled the world and the 7 seas and all of that. And then they notice, oh, wait a minute. You've been making this pie this whole movie. We have not tried that. Let's try this pie. So they try the pie. She don't even have to say nothing. I love that moment. That was like such a great moment. I like her, Monique's choice of that. Where she's like, and slides it right on over to Walter, and he tries it. And he finally did it. He finally made Grace's sweet potato pie recipe. And he calls the whole family down to go try it. And then, boom, that's the end. We got little bloopers at the end. No Soul Train line, but that's okay. Actually, maybe I should have gave him a point for that gunshot scene, because that was an iconic scene. But we're not done with the tally. We just went over the plot. Okay, we still got an unforgettable moment. So, we have the bathroom scene. That is a really unforgettable moment. And then we have the iconic Soul Train line dance. And then we have Grandma's here, the shotgun scene. I'm going to have to give it to this just because I really like those scenes. They're just like so memorable. I just see those scenes like quoted and like popping up on social media all the time. And then, like, for Almost Christmas, like, most of the time, I just see this scene. So, because it has, like, 2 moments that I put out, I'm going to just give it to Almost This Christmas. Then we have conflict. Okay, let's think. So, this Christmas, the conflict was really just the cheating husband. And then them trying to sell their shares of the cleaner business. But they really didn't, like, get into it that much. For real. Like, it was kind of mentioned in the beginning. And then we, the music thing, a little bit of the music thing too, but I feel like a lot of the, like, conflicts are, like, small things that kind of lie underground. Almost Christmas, obviously, was the sweet potato pie recipe, like, them losing their mom's recipes, and then the rezoning, that was, like, a pretty big conflict that kind of lasted throughout the whole movie. So I'm going to give it to Almost Christmas. Themes and messaging. So, this Christmas, family, gifts, like honoring your gifts. What else? Family and honoring your gifts, really, for real. And then we got Almost Christmas. Obviously, there's more, but I'm just thinking right off the fly. But we got Almost Christmas. We got, gentrification and ancestry. And, yeah, gentrification and ancestry. Yeah, those are like the 2 biggest things. I don't know. I might have to give this to Almost Christmas. The random white. So, basically, I can explain this. I have the random white here because when I was watching these movies, I noticed a pattern that I see in a lot of other movies, not even just this movie. But there are a lot of black films. Sometimes a black film will have an all-black cast. And then sometimes they'll do this thing where It's an all-black cast, and then they'll just have one random, not really random white person, but they'll just add a white character to the story. They're not super important to the mix, but to be honest, I feel like it's just to get like a larger demographic for financial reasons. Like Black Panther also did it. Like it's supposed to be Black Panther in Wakanda with all these black people, and then they have a white British man, or was he British? I don't know. One white man in the movie. So yeah, and these two movies did it obviously with what's her name? Sandy? Did I call her Melody? Let me look at what her name is. You know what? We don't need to know her name. The wife, and then the campaign manager. You know, like most of the cast is black, and then they got one random white people in the story for demographics, to raise that demographic up so more people can come in and see the movie. So, you know, he was responsible for gentrification. Her parents are racist, but she's not racist. So I'm gonna have to give it to the wife. Sorry, bud. You almost ruined their family. So, soundtrack. This Christmas. I'm not going over that. This Christmas. What y'all thought? It could honestly only have... And I still would have gave it that point. You know, before we do the winner, both of these movies are cool. They're great. A lot of people love watching them. I watch them pretty much every Christmas year. They each have their different things. You know, like this Christmas is more for the plot, the characters. It has a nice color grade to it, nice color to it. Then Almost Christmas, a lot of people like that for the comedy. Monique, she's a scene stealer. She's great at what she does. So they all won in their own right, you know? Because as long as people are talking about your movie and going back to watch it, that's all you can really ask for, you know? I'd love to be in both of them. If they ever do another, like, holiday theme movie with the black cast, call me. Anyway, but I'm gonna have to say the winner of this battle is, drumroll please, so I don't have a picture for the winner, so I'm just gonna have to say it. I'm gonna have to go with This Christmas. Ooh, was it kind of obvious? I tried to make it not obvious. It's my first time. I just kind of grew up with watching that movie, and then even when I'm not watching the movie, I'm listening to the soundtrack. You know, it's a stacked cast, honestly, and there's just so many iconic moments. It might not be like goofy, ha-ha funny as Almost Christmas, but there's some like funny moments in This Christmas. But I just really like the story, and yeah, I actually just watched Almost Christmas last year, so that's kind of a bit also why I picked This Christmas, just because I've been with it for much longer. That's my winner. You guys can say your winners in the comments, whether you believe it's This Christmas or if it's Almost Christmas. I feel like on social media, I've been seeing a lot of people say Almost Christmas, so to each their own. That's my pick. Let me just go over my notes real quick, make sure I ain't forgetting nothing that I was supposed to say. Yeah, I think we good. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you had a great Christmas. Hopefully you have an even better New Year's. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Adios.